I was like, what does that mean? What's going on? How can they not trust Harry? Hey guys, it's Kristen, and today we're going to be talking about the second episode of the Charmed reboot. First of all, I want to thank everyone who watched the pilot review. You guys had a lot of great thoughts and comments, and it was really exciting to be able to see so many people sharing their opinions, whether they agreed with me or not. I also got a few requests to do weekly reviews of this series, so we're going to try it out. I usually do like full season reviews, not so much weekly episodic reviews, but I figured this is a fun one to do for like the Halloween fall season. And we're gonna see how far we can get, because I know there's 18 episodes coming our way, and that's a lot of weeks of videos, and that's a lot of videos in general, 18, so we'll see how it goes. I do want to give a couple of quick updates on my thoughts since the pilot came out, because I did my review a couple of weeks early after seeing the screening at Paley Fest. The first thing is that at New York Comic Con it came out that the women playing these roles, the Vera sisters, are not actually Latina in real life, as we had been led to believe through news outlets, even though they are portraying Latinas in the show. That's something I've already discussed in a whole other video, so go check out that one if you're curious about my thoughts. Just keep in mind that it's totally okay to give your thoughts or criticisms or opinions on something and still enjoy it. The second thing is the pilot that I saw at Paley Fest a few weeks early was a little bit different from the one that actually aired on TV on premiere night, so I did want to call that out, because I had said that I felt that the show was lacking magic and lacking action. And there was a scene in particular, the one when the girls finally activate their powers of 3 and defeat the demon. When I saw that episode, it was very, very different. It was very anticlimactic. I was like, what is this? And they definitely upped the ante for the premiere. They changed the design of the demon, and they also added smoke and magic and lights and things like that to really show the sisters coming into their powers of 3. So I thought that was cool that they changed that up. I'm glad they did that. And of course, we also discussed that cliffhanger with Harry, which is where episode 2 picks up. As with most of my videos, there are going to be some spoilers in this one, just a warning. And with that, let's get into episode 2. This episode, like I said, follows the events of Mel, Maggie, and Macy discovering that they can talk to what seems to be their mom through a Ouija board, and she warns them to not trust Harry. At the end of my pilot video, I was like, what does that mean? What's going on? How can they not trust Harry? And that is what this episode comes down to. The girls all feel very differently about how to go about figuring out the truth, and they kind of go with this majority rules type of mentality of dealing with issues that as we go through the episode they learn is not the way to go about it. They have to work together. It's the power of 3. They all have to be on the same page, which I thought was really cool to be able to see them all kind of coming together even more as sisters. So obviously drawn to the Ouija board and the ability to possibly speak to their mom again, Mel and Maggie use a spell to essentially release whatever is in the board out, whatever kind of spirit is in there out of the board, and their mom is right there in front of them. And it was really nice to be able to see them all reunite, and even Macy was really excited at the possibility of getting to learn the truth of why she was left behind. Their mom sends them on this task to find this prism that she says will trap Harry so that he cannot steal their powers, and they go get it, and when they return they see Harry and their mom fighting. You know, obviously the girls want to protect their mom, but when it comes down to it, you know, Maggie has sensed kind of this whole time that there might be something a little bit off, and I think that was cool to see, because I think Maggie has the power that is the most passive, and sometimes even she might feel like that power might not be that useful, but in this situation it was really important, and we got to see her really step up and use her voice. Maggie tells the girls, like, you know, I really want to believe that this is our mom's spirit, but I don't think it is. I think we're being tricked. Their mom turns to Mel and is trying to kind of play favorites and say like, well, Mel, you know, me and you, we always had this bond, and Mel's like, nope, that's how I know that you're not my mom, because my mom would never play favorites. And she takes a knife and stabs her. And I have to say, like, yes, this was an imposter demon pretending to be their mom, but I feel like it would have been very traumatizing, even though you know it's not really your mom, to like take a knife and stab her. that was like crazy to me. So I was surprised that Mel wasn't a little bit more emotional, especially since she was the one who really had a hard time dealing with their mother's death to begin with. So they fight off this imposter demon, and the only way to really stop it is to show it its reflection, but all the mirrors in the house are broken. So what do? So modern. They take out a cell phone and show it its reflection through that. So they defeat the demon, and they learn that Harry can be trusted. And I think that that was interesting to learn, because I know people have been kind of saying that they weren't really into the way that Harry has been orbing. They thought that maybe that meant he really was a demon or something and wasn't really a whitelighter, because it didn't look like how it looked in the original show. And I think the thing is that this is a different show. This is geared toward a younger audience. This is completely different characters, adventures, stories, and I think they took liberties with things. So I think, you know, the way that Harry orbs as a whitelighter in the show is going to be different than the original, because they just made some creative differences. Yes, it's inspired by Charmed, but who knows if the Halliwells even exist in this world. You know, for all we know, this is a completely new reimagining, and these are the Charmed ones, and the other Charmed ones that we've seen in the past don't exist. I think some people are upset about that, but the thing is, this series doesn't take anything away from the original series. The original series you can still watch on Netflix, still great, still many seasons that you can watch over and over again. And I think this is more for a different audience, a younger audience, and one that maybe hasn't been introduced to this world yet. And who knows, maybe these younger viewers will be so interested that they will go and watch the OG Charmed and kind of fall in love with that world as well. But yes, to anyone who thought that Harry's orbing was weird and kind of Harry Potter-like, sorry, I think that's just a creative choice that they made in the designs for this show. We also get a very interesting cliffhanger in this episode. I remember at the end of the pilot I had said, okay, so what happens to that girl that was in a coma? Like, is her story over because they defeated her demon, or is like she gonna be in this? And it looks like she will definitely be in this. The episode ends with her opening her eyes in the hospital, coming out of her coma, just as Harry is giving a voiceover narration talking about how the source of all evil is looking for a human vessel to take over, and once he does, that is one of the first signs of the start of the apocalypse. So I am very curious to see how that is going to turn out. I think that's a pretty interesting twist. To wrap it all up, I gotta say, I really liked this second episode way better than the pilot. I felt more like the sisters were coming together and still, you know, figuring out how they work as a dynamic, how to listen to each other and how to trust each other and how to come into their magic more. I think there definitely was more magic and action. There was still a little bit of science, but I think there's a little bit less, which I appreciated, because like I said, this is a show about witches. I want to see magic. Nico, the detective, and Mel's girlfriend got introduced to the truth serum that they created and went off on this tangent saying all these truthful things to everyone that she probably shouldn't have. That was kind of cool. It was like a little science experiment, witchcraft, making potions, and it actually worked. I also really liked this demon, this imposter demon, how they portrayed their mom, because I think it added like an emotional level to the story that I appreciated. I would love to know what you guys thought about episode 2. Are you into it? Are you giving Charmed a chance? Or are you like, nope, I'll just go watch the original on Netflix? I'd love to hear your thoughts, whether you agree or disagree with me. I'd also love to know, which sister are you liking right now? Which power would you want to have? I personally really like Maggie, and I think if I could have any of their powers, I would probably go with Macy's and do some cool telekinetic stuff. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and click that subscribe button because I come out with new videos every week. See ya!